Before this video begins, I would like to give a quick thank you to my Asbantium level patrons Fallon Cortez and Nathan Gibson. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. So, a new Doctor Who trailer has come out, and naturally that means everyone online has to rush to get a video out about it within like 12 hours. But I like to take my time with these things, and also I was busy this weekend touching grass with my girlfriend, and also watching Eurovision. Oh yeah, by the way, Finland was robbed, so I'm gonna start my own Eurovision with blackjack and hookers. Hashtag HarboVision 2024. Anyway, back to Doctor Who. The show's social media spent the last week or so hyping up some sort of announcement, which ended up being this title reveal trailer. So I thought I'd sit down, or well, stand up, and give my thoughts on the new trailer and the 60th anniversary specials in general. So keep in mind heavy spoilers including unannounced stuff. Also, I swear this video isn't just because my channel is absolutely dead and nobody watches my videos anymore. Definitely not. So, where should we start? I suppose it's important to start with the newest stuff we learned from this new trailer, which are the titles of all 3 episodes airing in November 2023. These are The Star Beast, Wild Blue Yonder, and The Giggle. I really didn't want to start off with a nitpick, and especially not a negative point, but I can't say I'm a fan of how they use the series 1 to 4 time vortex during these reveals, since it does seem a little bit too memberberry. Obviously I know they won't actually use this vortex during the anniversary episodes, but it does concern me just a little bit. I've noticed the series 4 music being used in the background of a lot of promotional material and cast interviews, so it kind of worries me that they might be going back to what's safe and popular rather than innovating just a little bit to keep the show evolving. Like, I know it's the 60th anniversary, but if they were going to go down the route of reusing time vortexes, I would have liked them to have maybe done the 60s intro for the Star Beast title reveal, the 2005 intro for Wild Blue Yonder, and then a glimpse of the new intro for The Giggle. I feel like that would have done a lot to give it a sense of past, present and future. I know it's a huge nitpick to start with this, but I just don't feel like it inspires confidence for them to make this deliberate choice of using a safe and popular series 1 to 4 time vortex. The 50th anniversary using the 60s intro made a lot of sense because that was the first ever intro the show had, so it was a nice homage. However, them giving the 2005 intro the same treatment would be a bit weird and come across as more of an 18th anniversary celebration of New Who rather than an overall celebration of the entire show. It's a weird nitpick, I know, and not how I wanted to start the video, but I just wanted to point it out for fairness sake. Anyway, that's probably like the most negative I'll be this entire video. Anyway, on a lighter note, we now have official confirmation that the first special will indeed be adapting the 1980 4th Doctor comic story, The Star Beast. It was already pretty well known based on Beep the Meep appearing, but the special sharing the exact same title puts it in the same category as Human Nature in terms of being a pretty faithful adaptation and recreation of the original story, albeit not by the original author this time. This all means we can take a pretty good guess at the entire plot of the episode due to the source material along with like filming leaks and stuff. The Star Beast seems like it will open with the Doctor accidentally bumping into Donna and Rose Temple Noble in Camden, before he tries to run away and leave so that Donna doesn't recognise him. I assume this is when Beep's ship crashes, so the Doctor goes off to investigate. However, Rose and her friends end up stumbling across the escape pod where they find Beep the Meep, who Rose smuggles home in a box, and this is when Donna accidentally pokes him in the eye, which is like, you know, my favourite scene in the trailer. It's just really cute. Because, yeah, you know, she thinks he's a stuffed toy, which is a clear homage to E.T. So I'm pretty sure the early parts of the episode will take on that vibe, with Beep appearing to be a cute and innocent alien for these characters to protect from the Wrath Warriors. That's why they've leaned so hard into like the Baby Yoda look and feel, because they want that sympathy and appeal, and yeah, also to sell toys too. The original concept of Beep the Meep is how he uses his cute and cuddly nature to trick people before showing his true nature as a cold and brutal villain, kind of like an evil Puss in Boots, I guess. I like how they've gone for such a cute look for Beep in the special. I can really see that twist working effectively, because in pieces of media we always tend to immediately become drawn to cuter creatures, so we'll assume the Wrath Warriors are evil just because they look big and mean. And sure, they're not exactly good guys either, since they're like Jadoon in the sense that they'll still pose a threat to the Doctor and human characters, hence Unit fighting them outside what I presume is going to be Donna's house, which is probably the chaos which allows the protagonist to escape with Beep. And yes, of course, the big twist in the episode is going to be that Beep is indeed the villain, using zombie drones to repair his ship to escape into space. I'm not sure whether they'll stick to the source material of Beep's ship launching and taking part of Earth with it, but it's safe to say the Doctor, Donna and or Rose will stop this plan in one way or another, leading to Beep being caught by the Wrath Warriors and imprisoned for his crimes, just like in the original story. It doesn't seem like the Star Beast will do anything revolutionary, simply celebrating the history of the show by adapting an older comic story, along with reintroducing the fan favourite pairing of David Tennant and Catherine Tate with a pretty basic alien invasion story, kinda like Partners in Crime did. It's probably going to be the safest episode of the three, because its main aim is obviously to bring back a lot of lapsed fans. However, something a lot less predictable is Wild Blue Yonder. Personally, I don't think there's any footage of this episode in the new trailer. I know it seems like there is with the redacted clips after the title reveal, but I genuinely think this is just clever deception from the editors, since I reckon these clips are actually from just near the end of the Star Beast when they're in Beep's ship. The production team has been very coy about what the second special is about, and there's clearly stuff they want to hide from it. Something very evident in the first Russell T Davies era was the showrunners' love of using one twist or surprise to obscure another. In the Series 3 finale, Captain Jack's return was well known and actively promoted. They really didn't try to hide that return at all. This means it ended up being a diversion because the true big reveal of Utopia is a surprise twist of the Master returning. For another example, look at Rose's return in Series 4, which everyone knew would happen in the finale, but a cameo in Partners in Crime was kept under lock and key. So nobody expected it, not even the reviewers with early copies, because that was cut out. I'm expecting Davis to go for something similar with these specials, Wild Blue Yonder being the equivalent of that Utopia Master reveal. We know Donna and her family are returning in the Star Beast, and it's pretty clear by now that the Celestial Toymaker is coming back in the Giggle. But if those are the things Davis is willing to reveal now, what kinds of other returns is he hiding from us? That's what I find so exciting about the second special, because it could really be anything. Part of me is thinking Wild Blue Yonder will feature another incarnation of the Doctor, but I can't begin to predict which one it might be. Although obviously I want it to be the 8th Doctor, #McGanggang. The Giggle is such an interesting title for episode 3, although for some reason I've seen people online getting mad at it. Like, it's just a title, is it really worth getting angry over? Episode titles don't mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, they've never been indications of quality, and barely even matter to the bigger picture. The Ghost Monument is a brilliant title, but the episode itself is absolutely awful. Meanwhile, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is a very bad title, but the episode is very good. An episode's quality is completely independent of the title it has for like 5 seconds during the intro, so the title being bad doesn't matter much. And anyway, Doctor Who titles often tend to be descriptive and explanatory of the episodes themselves. The Impossible Planet is about an impossible planet. Turn Left is about Donna turning left or right. The Zygon Invasion is exactly that, and I won't give you any prizes for guessing what the episode Dalek is all about. Titles are usually some sort of clue about what happens in the episodes, where it takes place, or what the villain is. So for the special 3 to be titled The Giggle implies that the story is going to be about exactly that, a giggle. There seems to be a sort of creepy broadcast, and I feel like it's obvious that this is part of the Toymaker's plan, using this doll as subliminal messaging to control people's minds or something. Like we can see in some of the teaser clips as this unit soldier seems to get his mind controlled, although that might actually be in the Star Beast because that also has zombie drones. And yes, I'm still willing to bet that Neil Patrick Harris is playing the Celestial Toymaker, even though it hasn't been confirmed yet. I feel like the implication is already there due to the toy shop and magician elements. The Toymaker was introduced all the way back in Classic Who Season 3, and he became popular among fans over the years, even having a return planned for Season 23, although that never happened for reasons you can learn about in the video I made just about that. God, look at me, getting all the links out there. The Toymaker has still been a recurring figure in expanded media though, so it makes sense for an anniversary special to celebrate him and bring him back to the show, which appears to be backed up by what seems to be him messing around with people and playing unfair games like he's famous for doing. A lot of people are speculating that everything from the specials is some sort of false reality constructed by the Toymaker to mess with the Doctor, and that does make some sense, especially because I'm hoping it justifies this 2008 centric approach by serving as meta commentary on member berries and and nostalgia bait. Like I mentioned at the beginning, part of me really wants to believe in this theory because I don't like the idea of the show just relying on past glory unless there's a good narrative reason to do so. Hopefully this isn't just wishful thinking, but so far we don't really have any proof either way, so we'll just have to wait and see about that. The giggle really interests me because obviously it's the final story and has a lot of stuff to do. There are rumours and supposedly leaks of it bringing back a previous companion, with some speculation saying it's Martha or Mel, which is actually quite likely because Mel returned in Power of the Doctor, so she's involved with UNIT, and also Freema Agyeman didn't confirm or deny her involvement with the 60th anniversary, so Martha is also a candidate to return. But even if neither of them appear, the giggle is still the Regeneration story, or de-Regeneration, or re-Regeneration, or whatever it is. So who knows how the giggle will tie everything together. I'm also interested in where the Doctor and Donna end up by the end of it, since Donna is obviously coming into these specials after having a memory wiped of the Doctor, with her companion facing a pretty grisly death if she remembers him. I personally found that exit an excellent and tragic ending for the character, but there's always been a section of the fanbase who think it was a bad thing for Davis to write, and they suggest that the Doctor should have let Donna die. So I wonder if he might end up proving the old adage of be careful what you wish for, since Davis has hinted at a pretty bleak ending for Donna, possibly even an outright death, so I guess the fans might get what they wanted. I suppose I'm a bit concerned about how exactly the show plans on managing to navigate all this mind wipe business, since it would be cheap and unsatisfying to simply give Donna her memories back so she can live happily ever after. Clearly the trailer implies she does manage to get her memories back in one way or another, but I personally think there needs to be a cost. It's something she should have to pay a price for, so as to not undermine the heartbreaking tragedy of her original departure. Because yeah, not every Doctor Who character can have a happy ending. Similarly, they need to be careful how they deal with how this Doctor regenerates into Ncuti Gatwa. There's dialogue in this teaser trailer showing Donna wondering if he has this old face again in order to say goodbye. Much like with Donna's departure, I thought Ten's melodramatic "I don't want to go" was a fitting send-off for such a short-lived incarnation who had so many demons and ego issues, so it would be a shame to replace that with something else. I know 10 and 14 are technically different incarnations, but from the clips we've seen it really doesn't seem like 14 has his own distinct personality. He still uses 10th Doctor mannerisms and phrases like Alonzi, so I can't help but get the vibe that 14 is literally just an older 10 with a new blue coat. It seems like some people want 14's last words to be something like "I'm ready" or "I'm ready to go now," which obviously would be a mirror for that past departure. But I'm personally not a fan of that idea and it seems pretty cheesy to me. But then again, I've always been against Tennant being back in the first place, so what do I know? I'm personally more excited to see what role Gatwa plays in the episode, since it seems like he has some sort of appearance ahead of his debut at Christmas. I wonder if that's what's so secretive about Wild Blue Yonder. After all, Yonder means distance, which kind of fits the idea of the future, which Ncuti Gatwa's incarnation is, so that title would make some sense as some sort of unexpected early run-in with the 15th Doctor. Or perhaps the title literally does just mean somewhere mysterious and distant, which also works because Wide Blue Yonder is a saying and the episode title is probably just a play on that term rather than anything deeper. So, those are some of my thoughts on the new information we got about Doctor Who's 60th anniversary specials later this year. I do wonder how the three stories will be linked narratively, if they even are at all, since I don't know for sure if it's actually a three-parter or standalone specials under the wider theme of working out why the Doctor is David Tennant again. Personally, I expect that it will be more like a three-parter with narrative threads carrying over and cliffhangers at the end of the Star Beast and Wild Blue Yonder, rather than definitive endings. I'm pretty sure people on location caught a scene being filmed of Donna's family waving her off as she gets into the TARDIS, so I only assume they go right into Wild Blue Yonder, which I hope is a space or alien planet story, before being pulled back to Earth for the giggle, which will probably be more of a time travel centric story. Even though I'm more excited for series 14 and the 15th Doctor, I can't deny that I'm still very excited for the 60th anniversary specials, although that is definitely mainly nostalgia speaking, because I grew up with Tennant as the Doctor and it was also the best period for my channel, so it'll be great to see David Tennant and Catherine Tate team up again, but I'm just hoping this trilogy of specials is actually a celebration of the entire show, not just the modern era. I also hope they don't try to make 14 Outstayers welcome with loads of expanded media Big Finish box sets squeezed into tiny little gaps between the specials. He's got a very specific purpose, and once that's been achieved, I kinda just want him gone, because the 10th Doctor has already overshadowed the last 5 or so years of Doctor Who media. So it's time to move on, because you know, it's like a Eurovision winner coming back about 10 years later and winning it again, you know, when someone else should have won it. Anyway, those are my thoughts, and I'm sure you lot in the comments will have a lot to say. So let me know what you think about this new trailer and what you think might happen in the specials. And as always, I'll see you next time. And an extra special thank you to my Bantam level patrons Fallon Cortez and Nathan Gibson, my Diamond level patron Tom Hibbert, my Platinum level patrons Maximilian Foreman and Nick's Games, and all my Gold level patrons Boots, Calvin, Daniel Shillito, Franz Horn aka Line Vortex, Herna Verzog, and Tom Azar. Thank you so much for your support.